and watching this info session for Fall 2021 Virtual Exchange Programs. I'm just going to go to first. Next. Whoops. Okay, so this is our territorial acknowledgement. So Qualicum Polytechnic University takes its name from Kwantlen First Nations, and we work, study, and live in a region south of the Fraser River, which overlaps with the unceded traditional and ancestral lands of the Kwantlen, Musqueam, Kapsi, Siamu, Tsawwassen, Kwakwat, and Coquitlam peoples. Okay, next, just looking at the agenda for this info session. First, we're going to do an introduction of who we are. Then we'll talk about KPU's study abroad programs. We'll look at the extracurricular internship opportunities available, the academic study abroad opportunities available for credit, the application form, funding, reference form, and transcript that is required when applying for the extracurricular internship, as well as the academic opportunities. And then finally, we will talk about COIL courses, what they are about, and what you could register for fall. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or just save them until the end, when we will be going over questions. So going into introductions, I'll start first. So my name is Sarah Byrne, and I'm from Vancouver Island. I've been working at KPU since October as a study abroad coordinator, and I am responsible for the extracurricular international internships that are not for credit that I will be speaking about later. Next is Daria.
Hi there, my name is Daria, and I am the second study abroad coordinator here at KPU. I'm originally from the Republic of Moldova in Eastern Europe, and I have joined KPU in January 2020. And I am responsible for academic exchange programs virtually. And so those are particularly related to opportunities that are for credit at our partner universities.
So I guess now it's my turn. So hello everyone, my name is Leah. I am the Global Development Coordinator here in KPU. I have been working in KPU for about 2 years. And for my role, I am responsible for coordinating partnerships across university. COIL, the Collaborative Online International Learning, is one of our most important projects for this year. So I will talk about more about the COIL later on. So right now I will pass back to Sarah.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So talking about KPU Studies Abroad programs, on the left you can see the airplane that symbolizes our in-person mobility for global mobility opportunities. We have field schools and exchange semesters where you can take academic courses in another country. Due to COVID at this time and restrictions in place, there has been a cancellation of those programs until our aim of summer 2022, when we aim to open up for that. At this time, we are supporting virtual opportunities, which allows a lot of openness and flexibility for anyone of wherever you are at this time to participate in, as well as keeping the commitments that you have for personal or work-related to work in combination at the same time. And we will be discussing those opportunities today. So the academic, internship, extracurricular, and COIL. Right, and if anyone has any questions for either of those, in person or virtual, we will be going through them, and you can feel free to put them in the chat or discuss them later. So talking more about virtual exchange, eligibility is that you just need to be a full-time student at KPU. A current student, so not graduated or not you need to have already done be registered in for your classes. A minimum cumulative GPA of 2.5. So we are looking at if you've done at least 3 courses at KPU, and then you are looking to, so 1 semester of courses, and then looking for that minimum GPA. This is not applicable to the COIL. And they're just, if you don't have that GPA, it would just be discussing with us, and then we may or be able to see if there's anything that could be arranged for you. And just openness to working in an online environment. So for this is different than in person. So just let anyone know that if they are really wanting to do an in-person exchange, participating in a virtual opportunity does not impact your opportunity to do an in-person exchange in the future. You're able to do both. And there's lots of flexibility for commitment and easier access for these virtual exchange programs. For those programs, we have the academic, the internship, extracurricular, and the COIL. Academic has credits attached to it that can be counted towards your degree, which Daria will go over later. It is with a partnered institution from another country in that we are partners with, and usually it's for a semester. Compared to extracurricular that is not for credit. Internships are not for credit. They're not at KPU, so that would be with another organization or company that we would need to arrange with. And then it is short term, either a few weeks. We've got 8-week internship programs, or 2 or 4 week extracurricular opportunities. And COIL, we've got everything here for credit at KPU with partnered institutions, and it is for a full semester. So I'm going to talk now about extracurricular internship opportunities, and our first is with Costa Rica. And this is a nice toucan and a picture from Costa Rica. So Costa Rican internship opportunity is great if you're looking for some work experience, and great to add to your resume of having a global internship work experience. It is not paid. It's about 10 to 15 hours of commitment in a week with remote work. It is very supportive through mentorship to discuss about the flexibility of those hours during the week. Placement is done by this company called Costa Rica Global Learning Programs, but also anyone interested would be working closely with me to figure out what placements would be suitable. The starting is September 7th for 8 weeks. The price is $800 US. That fee is to go cover for the supportive mentorship, the connection that's happening there through this company for the internship opportunity, as well as the Spanish classes and cultural learning classes that take place during that. Scholarships are available to apply for. We have a global mobility fund where you're able to, successful candidates can get 100% of this fee covered for them. I will share that we have started already 3 rounds of students doing this Costa Rica internship with great success. So the benefits, as I was saying, you can put your studies to practical use. You are working remotely, learning from this other culture, how they work in this organization and do their independent business. This is great work experience for your resume to add. You can learn or improve your Spanish skills, know more about Costa Rican culture, and you get supportive guidance through the program on working remotely, how to balance work and life balance. There's the flexible schedule there and networking with the companies and other students from your program through this placement. Placement organizations you can work for. I've listed them here, and anyone interested, just let me know and I'll provide more details on these placements and what they're about. But pretty much it's open to whatever study background you're doing at KPU. So we've had students that are in Psychology Bachelor of Arts program support with the Sony placement here. So they were able to work with a psychologist and support the students there. We've had health science students help down here with the Casa de Socorro, and they are working, learning more about the health and science related surveys, and working with a health professional down there and knowing the difference between how things work in Costa Rica compared to Canada, and putting their skills from their classes into place here. And we've had business students, either from a post-bac program of business or just a regular bachelor's degree in business, support with the tourism placement opportunities with Durimity, Illusion. We also have with our Costa Rica Global Learning Program, helping with marketing, understanding the business aspect that's happening with those companies and their work experience. Next, I have a second internship opportunity. It will start August 23rd and goes until November 1st. It's 10 weeks. Has a fee like Costa Rica internship programs, but there is funding available to cover that fee. You will need to know Spanish for this opportunity, as there is a lot of work through this one's in Argentina, Flasco internship company, and that is just to help with translation and also to mainly work with the people there that English is not their first language. It was Spanish. Requirements are just also that you just have an open mind and curiosity of having that work experience with a human rights organization. And I'm just going to show a little background on the work that they are doing for this internship here. There's a bit of history.
The government kidnapped their grandchildren. They've spent the last 40 years fighting to get them back. From 1976 to 1983, Argentina fell under a military dictatorship. During this time, government death squads hunted down anyone suspected of political dissidence. Up to 30,000 people disappeared. Among them were pregnant women. The mothers were kept alive until giving birth. After, they were killed. Their orphaned newborns were given to couples who supported the government. It is estimated that 500 newborns were kidnapped in this way, but the grandmothers of the lost children refused to give up. Mothers and grandmothers of the disappeared banded together, boldly standing up to the government by marching in silent protest every Thursday around the Plaza de Mayo, earning the title Abuelas de Plaza de Mayo. After the regime fell in 1983, they began their search. The grandmothers became their own detectives. By 1987, they had found 39 of the lost children, but hundreds were still missing. So they turned to an emerging science in mitochondrial DNA, which could match individual children with women who might be their maternal grandmothers. But they still needed samples from the taken. So in 1997, they invited anyone who was uncertain about their identity to come forward. Many did, helping bring the number of lost children found to more than 120. The Abuelas are now a recognized human rights organization. They have received multiple nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize and remain dedicated to rebuilding families and restoring justice until all the lost have been found. March on.
Okay. So next, what do students do in this internship? They will be supporting the Abuelas' work by translating information regarding the search for the missing children and contribute to the bilingual cases, so participating in meetings with representatives from Flasco and the Abuelas' representatives, and then giving a presentation at the end to promote this work. So then here are just some testimonials from some students and some other colleges and universities who participated in this internship, and highly recommend it to anyone that's wanting to have an experience with a human rights organization, as well as who have Spanish language learning that they want to improve on through this translation and supportive work in this in Argentina. This is a short testimonial here.
Hi, my name is Abby, and I participated in the Flaxo en Abuelas internship for the fall 2020 semester. It was such an amazing experience. I was really excited to participate because I was already kind of interested in Argentine history and culture, but I had never had the opportunity to learn about that at my school. And this internship was so informative and really gave me a much better understanding of just how profoundly the last dictatorship impacted Argentina's society. And I was already amazed at the Abuelas' work, but with everything I learned in this internship, I gained immense appreciation for their work and their persistence and resilience in recovering the disappeared grandchildren and their identities, and subsequently Argentina's identity. So in that way, I feel really honored that I was able to contribute to their mission in translating disappeared persons cases to English. And I'm also a Spanish major, but I didn't have experience with translation, so that part was really interesting to me. And I also really enjoyed learning about and engaging with the Rio Platense accent and dialect with native speakers.
Okay, so that's the end of my presentation talk on the Costa Rica internship opportunities, as well as the Argentina Flaxo internship with human rights with Abuelas. If anyone's interested in those, please let me know, and I'll support you with your application and any questions you have. Now I'm going to pass it on to Daria, who's going to talk about the virtual academic opportunities.
All right, so let's get started on this one. So the virtual academic opportunities, as we've mentioned before, they are 4-credit opportunities. And essentially you are taking, in a very basic nutshell, you're taking classes at our partner universities online. So KPU has over 50 partners around the world. That students typically can choose to go in person to spend either a semester or a year studying abroad, however, and taking classes and counting them towards their degree here at KPU, so transferring them back. In this case, as we mentioned, this is a virtual opportunity. So one of the partners that in the fall is offering online classes for KPU students is OTH Regensburg in Germany, and there's 2 primary faculties where you can choose classes from. So if Sarah could move to the next slide, I can talk a bit more about what courses entail and then the specific faculties. So what you would be doing at OTH Regensburg. So essentially you'd be taking either 1 or 2 online courses. Typically when students do take courses on exchange, they do not pay to the university, to the partner university. So you don't need to pay German tuition fees. You pay your regular KPU fees. As if you were taking that class at KPU, and your student account is pretty much charged for whatever rate you're typically paying per credit at KPU. And as it was the case with the virtual opportunities, with the virtual extracurricular opportunities, like the internships that Sarah has mentioned, we also have funding available to cover those fees for students. And in the past 2 semesters, I believe, yes, in the past 2 semesters, spring and summer, we have successfully funded quite a bit of students. So do not hesitate to apply if you even have an inkling or a remote interest in what an online exchange can be and how it would fit into your academic journey at KPU. So let's move on to the next slide. Faculty of Math and Computer Science at OTH Regensburg offers all of these classes. So essentially, the exact course details are not yet set because the classes start a bit later in the semester for OTH, and they will try to make asynchronous attendance as possible from different time zones. And on our website, you can find a hyperlink that can take you directly to like the syllabus, the textbooks, and all of the jazz and all the things that you would need to learn about or you'd want to know about this opportunity. So essentially, the one thing that I'd like to note is that transfer credit. So you're probably wondering, like, what's ECTS? How does that translate to KPU credits? All of that. So typically what happens is, depending on the course that you're interested in, let's say you're interested in applied data science with Python, right? So this course actually was previously evaluated at KPU, and there is an actual course equivalent that was given for this particular class. And so I can't remember at the top of my head the actual equivalent, but essentially the faculty at KPU decided, hey, we will grant this equivalent for this equivalent credit for this course from OTH Regensburg. And so the student apply, like whoever was interested in taking that class could apply towards their program at KPU. Quick, very big note that I want to point out is that oftentimes when students decide to go on exchange, they do not necessarily they should not rely necessarily on transferring an exact requirement, like one for one. Let's say you're interested, you need psychology, childhood psychology, right? Like whatever the course of childhood psychology is at KPU, and you need that course for graduation, right? Like you cannot graduate KPU without that course, and you are hoping to take that course on exchange, right? There's no guarantees that the childhood psychology class at our partner university will transfer directly at KPU to KPU as the childhood psychology that you need to graduate. So this is why we say no to students who need specific direct course transfers. We always encourage students who are even having a thought of potentially going on an exchange to leave some room in their general elective course pool to transfer these courses back, because oftentimes these courses get evaluated as unassigned credits back at KPU, meaning that let's continue using that example, that childhood psychology course can be evaluated as Psych 1XXX, so meaning it's not an exact code, that it's not a direct transfer, it's unassigned, Psych 1XXX, and it can be applied to your lower level elective course pool if you need to, if you needed to complete that requirement as well. And why not? Sometimes students decide to take general electives and get them out of the way with courses that they would never otherwise had the opportunity to take it at KPU, because they're either unique or they're or there's a professor that the students are curious to learn from. So there's so many other so many perks to knock out those general electives with courses at our partner universities that could be transferred as GEs. So if we move, so this is the list. This is the list of courses from the Faculty of Mathematics and Computer Science at OTH, and the next one is the Faculty of Business Studies. So you can look at the bachelor level courses. These will actually have a fixed time in Central European time. So please be mindful. Germany, right, has quite a time difference with Canada, especially the West Coast. So please be mindful for synchronous courses. While the Faculty of Mathematics and Computer Science said there might be potential for asynchronous delivery of courses, the Faculty of Business said we will be doing it in real time. And so as it's noted, the course schedule will be released and the timetable will be released at the beginning of September. So stay tuned for exact times that these courses will be happening. And I think that's it. If you have any other questions, let me know. But I guess I could maybe talk about applying, Sarah, now. All right. So how to apply? So essentially, we will share the application form with you on the screen to kind of go over it real quick. And so the thing that I would like to note is that if you are interested after watching the session, either currently live or a recording of it, we will essentially send out an application form to you all. And that application form is pretty straightforward. It's a two-part application. The first one is for the opportunities, the academic as well as the extracurricular that Sarah has mentioned. And the second part is for the funding that we keep bringing up that is available to students. So Sarah, do you have the application on the screen that we could share potentially with the students? All right, so as you can see, this is the sample program, the template of the application that we'll be sharing, and it's pretty straightforward. The first part is you just put in your student information, the academic program, name, ID number, country where you're currently located, home campus, and your status, whether you're a domestic student or international student. The next part is obviously includes some of the academic experiences. As you can see, some of the application deadlines have already passed as we move through the summer and into the fall. And currently, if you are interested in the OTH Regensburg opportunity, you can place it as a, let's say, first choice. And if you're still thinking, oh, like I would actually not mind an extracurricular opportunity as well, you could also do as a second choice opportunity. You could put the Costa Rica Global Learning Program. The reason why we're encouraging students to always think about a first choice, second choice is if for some reason the first choice opportunity doesn't work out for you for, like I said, for whatever reason, there's always a backup. However, if let's say you're like, actually, I don't necessarily want to do for credit opportunities. I already have my general electives taken care of, but I really, really, really want to get into, to get some internship experience, some work experience, and kind of get an idea what the Costa Rica Global Learning Program is about, what the Flaxo Argentina internship is about. You don't necessarily need to choose, first choice, second choice between the academic and the extracurricular. You can just, say, hey, I am really set on the Costa Rica Global Learning Program or the Flaxo, and you can say, but this is what I want. And then later on in the application, you can elaborate a bit more in the essay, and I will show you here in a bit, in the essay, why you want that opportunity and how that will serve your personal and professional goals. And so the eligibility requirement, please note, it's very important that you need to have a minimum of 2.5 GPA, as well as have completed 9 credits at KPU by the time you participate in the virtual exchange. So by the end of, so hopefully those of you who are interested to apply, by the end of this summer semester, you have completed 9 credits at KPU. That is kind of the basic requirement. So the next part is in the statement of interest. This is where I mentioned that you can explain and expand a bit more on the rationale as to like why you're wanting either one of these opportunities, why you're interested in the first or the second choice experience if you're interested in 2, or why you're set on the one internship or the one academic experience, right? And the other one is how will either of these experiences will link to your educational, personal, and professional goals, because we really, really want to see some kind of reflection on from your end, that you put some thought into it, because it is a commitment. It is a commitment. You are also representing KPU, whether it's an academic experience that you're doing at our partner university, or at the organizations that you'd be doing an internship. So we really want you to think through how that will serve you, and think about your also schedule, think about your other commitments outside of school, so on and so forth. So make a case for yourself if that's something that you really want, because this is what the committee will use to evaluate your application, not only for whether you're a suitable candidate for the program, but also if you're a suitable candidate for the funding. And I will mention a bit more on the essay for the funding. The proposed study plan, this only is applicable for those who are interested in academic experiences. So if you're interested in any of the classes that OTH Regensburg is offering in this particular case, please list them here. Note that you won't be able to take a full load of courses at OTH Regensburg. It's going to be 1 to 2 courses. That's why we say, how many courses are you interested? So right here, number of courses. You do not need to say, you can say, let's say 1, or you can say 2. And then in the propose a minimum of 6 classes in this little box, we want you to propose your first choice courses, but have enough as backups, you know what I mean? So essentially, if you are interested in taking 1 course at OTH Regensburg during the fall semester, please give us at least 6 courses in the order of your preference, so that in case one of them is full, or like the first choice course is full, we can look at the second as a backup, or the third or the fourth, or whatever the case may be. So if you have any more questions about that part, let us know. But that's essentially what that is about. So yeah. So, and also, of course, some of the courses, they have prerequisites. And so you need to make sure that you read the course description carefully to make sure that you meet the prerequisites, because the faculty on the other end will be assessing you whether you are ready to undertake that work. If you can go down a little bit, this is absolutely essential to your application packet, reference forms. We cannot emphasize this often enough. Students will need to submit 1 reference form either from the faculty or from a community involvement, experience that you've had, either work or volunteer, or something like that. It's either your supervisor or your volunteer supervisor, things like that. And please, this is very important. Your references need to send us directly an email from their email address, not send you the reference form and then you send it to us. It needs to come directly from them. So, and it needs to come by the same application deadline as the application form. So the reference forms are technically separate from this, but you can click on the links, the hyperlinks on this application and download those forms so that you can have access to them to send them to your reference people. Yeah, and of course the acknowledgements and all of the stuff. Pretty much we want to make sure that you have read everything and that you're super familiar with all the things before committing to this experience. The next part, as I mentioned, is a 2-part application. The next part is the scholarships. The one thing that we wanted to note that even if you are not thinking to apply for a scholarship, we will need your unofficial transcripts, and there is a section here, unofficial transcripts, that you can use to and you can download them from your OSS account. You do not need to pay for your official transcripts, because I know that some students attempted to do that. We don't want you to spend the unnecessary money. You can download it here, and this is sufficient just for the purposes of this application. So, so even if you're not planning to apply for the funding, please submit your unofficial transcripts. It's part of your application, and the application will not be considered complete if you do not submit it to us. So, and of course, the donor recognition, consent for disclosure of personal information, all of these things, please read carefully. please read the fine print. It's always very important so that you know what you're signing, and that's that. So if you can go down a little bit, Sarah, so that you can look at the rest of the remainder of the application. If I looked at it. Okay, that's the one that I wanted to talk to you about. So the essay. So why are you applying for the Gardner Student Mobility Fund? I forgot to mention that this is the name of the award that students have been getting. In this particular portion of the application, they're explaining how will the fund benefit them and why do they need the money. So we want to see that you put some thought into that as well, and thought about your budget, and thought about the different expenses that might come up with these experiences in addition to your regular semester expenses. And if you can go down a bit, it's the commitment. So I really want to emphasize the commitment. So essentially what we want students to commit to if they receive the funding, if they're successful recipients, is the following. So we would like the students to share their experiences with other students. We would like them to participate in either a written interview or a post-exchange video series that we are planning to roll out with our team, with KPU Study Abroad, regarding your experience. And we have a social media account that students follow. So we want to put it out there. We want to get the word out so the more students actually get the chance to participate and benefit from this. Committing to 5 hours of volunteering with KPU Study Abroad office upon completion of exchange. We host open houses, International Focus Week during the fall semester, different info sessions like this one, for example. So this could all count towards your 5 hours of volunteering with us. And the last one is participation in related surveys and questionnaires during and after the experience, because ultimately we want to know how this experience went for you and what we can adjust, because we're always seeking to improve and enhance your guys' experience. And the last part is obviously the acknowledgements. Again, all the fine print, signature, date, and and save it. The one thing that we want to note is that you do not need to print this application and sign it with a pen. You can do an electronic signature. It will work just fine. So don't you worry. You can do that on the PDF itself on the computer and just send it our way.
Okay, so Sarah, would you mind to share the PowerPoint? Thank you so much for Sarah and Daria for your detailed explanation about the virtual exchange opportunities, whether it's academic, whether it's the extracurriculum and internship programs. So my focus today will talk about the COIL, Collaborative Online International Learning. So basically, I will start with what is COIL, the benefits of COIL, so as well as some of our students' feedbacks towards the COIL projects. And lastly, I will introduce you some of the fall COIL opportunities, as well as the registration process. So let's get started. So firstly, what is COIL? Sarah, would you mind to go to the next slide? Yes, please. Thank you. So what is COIL? So basically, it is an innovative approach for you to be engaged in a global dialogue across your disciplines. It is not only about sitting in the classroom or in front of the computer. Basically, it is a great chance for you to be engaged with students from another institution and developing relationship. It also motivates you to cultivate your global citizenship. So basically, in the classroom, your instructor will collaborate with instructor from another institution to design the course curriculum and distribute the joint learning materials to challenge you via different projects, discussions, and joint assignments. So joining COIL, you will meet new friends from other universities, build intercultural communication skill, and learn from a global perspective. Next slide, please. So talking about the benefits of COIL, as I mentioned earlier, because during the COIL classes, you will be challenged with a cooperative assignments or discussions or projects. So basically, it will help you to build the global problem solving capacity. So basically, later on, it can be a shining point on your resume to talk about you joined the COIL class, because this COIL experience really help you to build your program solving capacity. And secondly, definitely you will have the chance to connect with classmates from all over the world. You can learn the subject from another perspective, and most importantly, you will get the KPU credits. So basically, unlike the other academic virtual exchange program, there is no need to transfer the credits. So next slide, please, Sarah. So we actually start to roll out the COIL project from spring 2021. And after the course, we kind of collect the feedbacks from both instructors and the students. And from the screen, you will see the students' feedbacks towards course. This is very positive feedbacks. And based on the diagram on the screen, you will see that basically all of the participants for the COIL classes in spring semester, they would like to recommend COIL to other KPU students. And also after the class, they would like to continually collaborate with students from another country. So basically, this is a really great opportunity for you to be engaged with students from another institution. Next slide, please, Sarah. Next slide, please, Sarah. So can you go back to the last slide talking about the course opportunities? So basically from the screen, you can see there are 3 COIL courses in the fall semester. The first one is the GLBL 2000. So the course name is Intercultural Engagement in Practice, and it's led by Leslie. So basically, she will collaborate with a partner school in Mexico, that's University of Monterrey. So basically, Leslie, she's so experienced in the intercultural communication and engagement. So basically, this is a very great opportunity for you to explore the global competency while developing a curiosity and awareness about the cultural world beyond your immediate environment. You will also recognize your own and others' perspective while developing a commitment to inclusion, participation, and cooperation with diverse audiences. And the second course is the Politics of Continental Integration. So it's Poly 3131. So basically, you will examine the phenomena of continental integration, paying particular attention to North America as a contested side of integration. So basically, you will investigate the existing status of North American integration and analyze the debates around the merits and demerits of deepening it, using the European Union as a key point of comparison. Basically, this course will have some prerequisites. You can see from the screen about all the details. Last one is about the ENGL 2300. So this course is about writing in the digital age. So basically, you will explore the multimedia writing and research strategies in both theory and practice. So through an engagement with digital content, it will include the podcast, film, music, tweets, and blog posts. So basically, you will build your skills in media analysis, visual and multimedia composition, and online research and citation. So basically, these are the 3 COIL opportunities for the fall semester. And as of today, 10 a.m. So basically, we still have some seats for GLBL 2000, but for the Poly 3131 and ENGL 2300, I should see not too much seats left there. So if you want to be registered for those courses, try to register as soon as possible. All of the course schedule and prerequisites you can find either on the screen, or you can go to the university calendar to see the details. And next slide, please, Sarah. So last slide, I want to talk about the registration process. So basically, for the COIL course registration, the process will be exactly the same as you register for the regular courses. So basically, you go to the registration app on the one.kpu.ca, and then you type your course name and number there, and then start from there. You can register for your courses. So for the COIL courses, one point I want to mention is that for your course performance, it will still depend on your instructor, not from the instructor from the another institution. So basically, the academic performance will still be regular, like the regular classes in KPU. So that's all about the registration process. It's quite simple. As long as you've been KPU students for a while, you definitely will have an idea on how to register for the classes. So if you have any questions about COIL, about the registration process, feel free to contact with us. We can provide you more information from there. So basically, that's all from my side. Questions? Are there any questions from our audiences? If there is no question, and you come up with some questions later on, feel free to contact with us. I think, Sarah, on the last slide of the PowerPoint, we have already listed our contact email there, right? So basically, students, you can feel free to send us an email. So basically, that's all from my part. Sarah and Daria, I'm not sure if you have anything to be added here. We're all good?
Sarah, would you like to say something to wrap things up? On my end, I hope that this was informative for y'all. If there's any questions, internationalprograms@kpu.ca, please send them our way. We will be happy to answer. And if there's anything to add, Sarah, feel free to.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, same as both. Any questions, just email to us. We're happy to help you out, and just send them our way and get involved, and you'll never regret it. Okay, take care, everyone. We're going to stop this, and we look forward to hearing from you. Okay, bye.